Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Aramish Masud and I hope you are fine in this COVID-19 pandemic situation. I request everyone to follow SOPs issued by the government to keep yourself and your family safe and healthy. Coming to my presentation, the topic I selected is child labor. In the world, generally and precisely focused on child labor in Pakistan. In our daily life, we all see young children doing work at different places, but we have never thought it to be a crime. Young children are deprived of their basic rights, like right of education, healthy environment. The most useful period of these children are being ruined by miserable working conditions. In my presentation, we will discuss different aspects of these miseries, causes, children employed in different sectors, laws governing child labor, the social, physical, and psychological effects on these working children, and finally, the preventions. Child labor is not only the issue of Pakistan and Southeast Asia, but it's a worldwide problem. Approximately 265 million young children are at work around the globe. In the developed countries, rate of child labor is going down, but in developing countries like Pakistan, it's going up. Talking about the global environment, the highest rate of child labor is in Africa. 72.1 million African children are estimated to be in child labor. Getting back to our specific focus on child labor in Pakistan. Pakistan is ranked third in child labor, and the most unfortunate aspect of this issue is that majority of our people don't think it to be a crime and accept it as normal way of life. We believe that education, health, sports and all other facilities offer the children who belong to well-off families. To critically analyze the problem and find its solution, we precisely need to know the cause of the problem. The major causes of the child labor is poverty and population, along with the unemployment, lack of education, violation of laws, etc. Over 20% of Pakistan's total population lives below the poverty line. It means that these people cannot meet their basic needs and cannot afford to have at least 2 meals a day. It is evident from this fact that if they don't have resources to buy the food, how can they spare money for the education of their children? Ultimately, to meet their day-to-day need, they have to put their children to work. After this COVID-19 pandemic, it looks that the economy of the country may face the worst recession of its history, which will increase the hardship of millions of Pakistanis. Overpopulation has engulfed the resources of the country, due to which government has failed to uplift the living standard of people, create jobs and other essentials of life. The country has shown very low and even negative growth in GDP for the last many years, which has increased unemployment, ultimately rise in child labor. The low literacy rate plays pivotal role in increasing number of child labor. 3% of annual budget allocated for education shows the lack of interest of the government in this sector. Coming towards the governing laws of the child labor. No doubt, the various laws and rules exist in the country to control child labor in accordance with UNICEF Charter and other international agencies. But due to bribery, nepotism and misuse of authority, the enforcement of these laws is very poor, due to which huge number of children are forced to work in different sectors. Now let us discuss sectors of child labor in Pakistan. Majority of children are working in agriculture, domestic work, different workshops, restaurants and the worst condition is bonded labor on brick kiln and forced begging. In agriculture sector, most of the children work only for the food and shelter and are not paid any wages. About 67% of child labor exists in agriculture sector in Pakistan. Then comes child labor in domestic work. It's very common phenomenon of our country to keep young children, especially girls, for domestic work. A part of miserable condition, violence against these children is also common. Society of Protection of Rights has reported more than 50 cases of severe violence in last few years, out of which 24 children lost their lives. The domestic workers are usually compensated with food, shelter, and small amount of 3 to 4,000 per month. Then comes child labor in workshops and other different industries. Here a child is paid 1/4 of wages as compared to an adult. In most of the cases, children are not paid for the work they do. They are just sent to workshop by their parents to get technical skills. Then comes the children working in restaurants. In restaurants and road by truck stops, the children work from dawn to midnight. No limit of working hours and are very badly treated by drivers. The working condition in this sector is miserable and also have many social problems. Coming towards the final segment of child labor, that is begging. The majority of children are forced by their parents for begging, and large cities, organized groups and mafias also hire young children for begging. These children are intentionally disfigured and mutilated to get more money by exploiting the feelings of people. Now let us discuss effects of child labor. Effects of child labor has many folds. Basic right of pride and dignity of young children is sacrificed. They are deprived of their basic right of education. Many children face severe accidents on the job due to innocence, lack of knowledge, and poor training techniques. Children are physically and mentally tortured, which make them impatient and irritated members of the society, which usually takes them to drugs and other criminal activities. Coming to the aspect of rules and regulations to eradicate this social stigma, the key role has to be played by the government and is to be played by the masses. The rules and laws governing child labor do exist, and Government of Pakistan has signed various charters by UNICEF, ILO, WHO, and many other international organizations. But the problem is implementation and enforcement of these laws. Finally, coming to the prevention of this issue, the government should play a role to control population, provide free education and health facilities, create jobs, and launch an organized campaign through media supported by laws and enforcement agencies to declare state of emergency and crack down against child labor. People from different fields of life should also be engaged to play their role, especially the students. Let's join our hand to organize the country-wide campaign against child labor on coming Child Labor Day, that is 12th of June. Thank you and may Allah bless you.